Hey everybody and welcome back to Nightbringer's Watch. I am your host Falk, and tonight we're continuing our way through the dark streets of London here in Vampyr. Last time we left off at our own home, where we used to live at a certain point. We are in the West End. That's the last district that we had to uncover. And we found out not that only Elizabeth? Yeah, Lady Ashwood is living here, but also her daughter is somewhere around, and our mother. So, has to be the butler of our mother. Okay, let's talk to our mother if we can find her. Okay, she's wandering around the halls. There she is.
Hello again, Mother.
Jonathan, back already. Good, good. I was just about to go outside to find you. You shouldn't stay away for so long.
Do you need my medical attention, Mother?
I'm all right, son. Don't worry about me.
Okay. Oh, shit. I want to check that first. Release. Sorry, Mother. Sorry. Talk to me. I'm so sorry.
Hello again, Mother.
Jonathan.
Okay.
Back already. Good.
All is normal.
I was just about
Perfect.
to go
I
outside
was
to
worried
find
there
you.
for a moment.
You shouldn't stay away for so long.
Okay. It's strange to ask about your family because her family is our family. And let's go about your life in London first. Tell me about the neighborhood.
Mother, do you know what's been going on in this area?
Not really. I don't go out much due to the epidemic, and when I do, I tend to get lost.
What do you mean you get lost? I hope you don't go outside alone.
Of course not. When I go out, your father always comes with me, but he leaves me there sometimes, and I have trouble finding the way back.
Oh god, she's so confused.
Have you returned to Whitechapel Cemetery since Mary's funeral?
I never want to go back to that awful place. Wait. I think I went back once. And you were there too. And Mary? No, that can't be true.
It was just a bad dream, Mother.
A nightmare, yes. Mary was so angry. I walked back home alone. If that kind policeman had not called Avery from the station, I don't know what would have happened.
Okay. Yeah, so she remembers it. But we won't tell her the truth because how would she react if she knew that we are a vampire and that we turned Mary? And we thought her dad let her be buried, and then she turned out to be a vampire, came out, mesmerized mother, brought her to the cemetery. Oh boy, that will ruin Christmas forever. Do you need anything?
Do you need anything, Mother? Can I help you?
I just want you to stay with me, Jonathan. Your room is ready. I asked Avery to make your bed.
I'll stay as long as I can, I promise. Do you need anything else?
Just one thing. Stop staring at me like that. As much as I love you, it breaks my heart to look at those empty and dead eyes.
Okay, so she does recognize that we are kinda dead. Do we look that dead? I don't know. It has some strange facial features, but she looks more dead than we do, I think.
Are you working on a new painting?
Not recently. I have trouble focusing on my subject and my mind quickly drifts. It's the same thing when I try to write poetry.
I recently met a talented painter with an excellent technique. I wish you two could meet. I'm sure you'd like her.
I'd be glad to meet her. What is her name? Is she famous? Is she dead too?
She's not famous, and her name is of no importance. And yes, she is also dead.
The important thing is, I hope you two get along. If she ever fancies meeting your mother, I'd be glad to welcome her into my home.
Wait. So she know that we are dead. I don't really get it. So we try to tell her that the thing with Mary is some kind of nightmare, but she knows that we are dead in some kind. How'd come? I might have missed there something.
Why do you say Mary is visiting you, Mother? You know that's impossible.
Why should it be? Are you not standing in front of me right now? Why should it be any different with your sister?
But I'm not dead, Mother. I'm really here, talking to you, trying not to cry.
Oh, it breaks my heart to have to tell you this. But of course you're dead, my darling boy. Just look at you, as pale as my Mary.
But Mary really is dead, Mother.
Yes. And are you not dead too? Isn't your father dead? And my grandson, and my son-in-law, you're all gone. But you all still visit me from time to time.
Ah, she's hallucinating. Okay, she has some kind of dreams of the dead. She's so grievous with the loss she had that she can't figure out what's true and what's dream. Ah,
Goodbye,
okay.
Try to rest now.
Goodbye, son. Please come back soon.
That's it. Okay, then let's plunder the building.
Yes, Jonathan. Spending next summer in France. Absolutely.
Huh. In here? What's in here? Hey, why is this completely empty? Wow. Not even the book or something. Oh, the door has been unlocked. So, last time we found the key, right? Then that has to be... Why is everything open here? God, so strange. A watch and opium. Some shillings. One shilling. Okay. Ah, who are you? Bring any information. Oh, some money. Why aren't there books that I can read or something like that? Some paper. Oh, hey. Aubrey reads first letter. Oh, okay. Reed Mansion, 4th April 1908. My dear and beloved John, when you receive this letter you will be 35 and I'll be long gone. I feel a little silly writing you this first letter that you won't read for a few years. I struggled for a long time about how best to write you this, until I remembered the puzzle and riddles I invented for you when you were a boy. Oh, how you loved to solve those enigmas. Well, I found it would be a good idea to propose to you one final game. It will probably be less rewarding. No candies or exotic treasures for you if you decipher the game this time. But a greater treasure, perhaps. The truth. This is my only attempt for you to explain why I chose to leave my family without an explanation. If you want to know why, simply play my little game. It's really up to you, my son. Rest assured that I love you. I promise my family was and still is everything to me. I remember the first time I held you and your sister in my arms, my treasures, my jewels. To see you grow up, play and laugh filled my heart with joy every time I went back to our home. I could have killed to protect you, my son, my daughter, my wife. But fate found me in the end, and I had to make a tough decision. The worst was to disappear without a word. I decided to do it anyway. And soon I'll be gone for good. I don't ask for forgiveness, but for understanding. If you want to know more, all you have to do is remember how happy we were back in those days. If you want to find the next message, think green grass and tall trees on sunny Sundays. From your affectionate father, Aubrey Reed.
I remember Sunday walks in the park.
So there has to be... Oh, a new investigation. Okay. There has to be a letter in the park. Pretty close to the house, I believe. Okay, hey. An old letter. Reed mentioned 8th March 1908. My dear Avery. As I already told you several days ago, I may be forced to leave England, if only for a few months. While I'm away, and until my son comes back to London, I want you to take the best care of our house. I already made the entire necessary arrangements to have your wages increased and paid as long as you'll work. You promised me you'd protect my dear wife and serve her to the best of your ability. For that I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If I am never to return, you are the only man I fully trust. Believe me, your most affectionate friend, Aubrey Reed. So not only a butler, but a friend to the family. Okay. Oh, this room looks gorgeous. Oh, so many. Are you drunk? Let's talk to Avery.
Good evening, Avery.
Mr. Jonathan? I can't believe my own eyes. Oh, it's a miracle. We all thought you were... Oh, sir, your poor sister. What a tragedy.
I know, Avery. I know about my sister's murder.
Miss Reed expected you to return to assist with the funeral, right up until the last minute. Where have you been, Mr. Jonathan? We needed you here.
Huh. How is my mother?
How is my mother?
Not well, I'm afraid, sir. Miss Reed is very fragile since the police brought her back home.
The police? What happened?
Miss Reed was found walking in the streets. She kept saying she had spoken with her son and daughter. She's resting now.
Has she received appropriate medical care?
I'm taking care of Miss Reed myself. Hospitals are so overwhelmed by the epidemic that they can only accept patients infected by influenza.
That might be might be true.
Perhaps we could arrange a short trip. Somewhere sunny, like France. She has always been very fond of France. I think leaving London could do her good.
I'm afraid Miss Reed is too frail for the moment. Recently, she started going out at night without remembering it. I have to watch her carefully.
Okay.
What is the situation in this part of town?
For a time, the West End seemed spared by the epidemic. But the situation is getting much worse.
Have you no relatives anywhere? I'll understand if you want to take a few days to see family.
Your father managed to guarantee my earnings as long as I take care of this house, sir. My sisters are dead, and I've never met my nephews. I'll stay, sir.
Aw, thank you, Avery. Though it is kinda sad. And he's healthy.
I'm sorry I could not be here for Mary's funeral.
Your mother was strong, sir, but your support would have been appreciated. Apart from the priest and I, no one else attended your sister's funeral.
To be present at the funeral with you both was my dearest wish, Avery. But I am sorry, I simply could not attend.
I would not dare to question your absence, Mr. Jonathan. All I can say is that we missed you a great deal during these difficult days.
Ah, we were there.
I found an old letter written by my father and addressed to me. Do you know anything about it, Avery?
Your father wanted me to give you this letter for your 35th birthday, but you left for the war, and the letter remained in his office until tonight.
I realize now you knew my father better than I did. Do you know why he left, Avery? Did he ever speak to you about his departure?
No, sir. Mr. Reed was not exactly forthcoming. Perhaps this letter will give you the information you require.
Tell me the truth, Avery. Do you feel forced to stay here? Would you leave this house without the arrangement made by my father?
No, sir. I have nowhere else to go. And I promised your father I'd take care of his family as long as I live.
This house is dead, Avery. There is a curse on this family. You really should consider leaving.
If only you could have been here sooner or more often. Maybe this house would not be that empty. But you're here now, sir. So my task is not over.
You have served this family extremely well, Avery. Your support during these terrible times is much appreciated.
Then I will stay. All I ask is that you take care of my own funeral if I die before the end of the epidemic. No mass grave, please, sir.
Can't we react to that question of his? Here's nothing new.
You really think I don't take enough care of my mother, Avery?
Yes, I do, Mr. Jonathan.
You clearly have something more to say. Speak your mind, Avery.
I know you work hard to help the sick, but what will you do once the epidemic is over?
My home is here, and I have nowhere else to go. But this house will need some improvements if I move here. Some radical changes.
That's good news. Whatever changes you have in mind, I'm sure we will find an arrangement that suits your mother also.
Okay, that's...
Goodbye, Avery. Please watch over my mother until I return.
Of course, Mr. Jonathan. But please return as soon as possible.
What a kind man. Open-minded. And, yeah. Sharp tongue. That's for sure. But a nice guy, I'd say. Oh, hey, and that's the way out. Oh, hey, lions, cool. Okay, where are we? This is... Ah, we are close to the Ascalon Club.
The Ascalon Club. The heart of British vampire society. Not quite as subtle as I expected.
Yeah. Let's first talk to Charlotte.
Good evening, miss.
Oh my god, no. Please, Mr. Vampire, don't kill me. Please, no. I'm too young to die. I still have so much to offer this world.
Wait, no. Why do you think I would... What?
Don't worry, Dr. Reed. I know you wouldn't harm me. Mother told me you were in this part of town and might drop by.
Your mother?
My name is Charlotte, sir. Charlotte Ashbury. My mother taught me long ago how to recognize the signs that betray a vampire.
I understand she also taught you how to tease and gently mock innocent young Ekons. It's a pleasure to meet you, Miss Charlotte.
Tell me about the
What do you
neighborhood.
think about this part of town?
I was raised here, and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes.
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck.
Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reed?
Ah, she's one dangerous girl, I'll tell you.
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste, even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich?
I suppose you're right. But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
Let's do a oh, she also is healthy. Good that everyone's healthy around here. So we don't have any work here.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night, since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reed. And please, don't tell my mother.
Oh, we might, little miss.
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
Oh.
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously, and the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Yes, no, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me, or your mother.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reed.
Yeah, that might be because we fought every other vampire that we met since then.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Ah.
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
Ah, okay. So right now her plans are not to turn into an immortal. Oh, good to know. Then we had some personal questions. Oh, we have nearly everything unlocked.
Your mother has refused to turn you into a vampire. Tell me more about it.
Each time we argue, Mother expresses the same fear. She wants me to remain alive and full of joy, rather than become melancholy and immortal. She claims you can't have one without the other. It's pure selfishness.
Your mother has walked this earth for much longer than you or I. She is wise, and we should not ignore her advice when we disagree with it.
But why shouldn't I be allowed to forge my own experience? There can't be only one righteous way to deal with eternity.
It's your mother's choice. As daughters and sons, we have to accept the decisions our parents make for us despite our own wishes.
I love my mother, and have accepted everything from her. Even that she named me Charlotte, when it was not my original name.
Does it bother you?
No. Whoever I was when I was born, I am now Charlotte Ashbury. It hurts as much as it makes me proud to know that's the name my mother will read on my tombstone.
Okay.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How was it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
There are indeed interesting questions. Not easy to handle questions, but interesting questions.
Why do you still hope to become a vampire in spite of your mother's refusal?
It's the immortal aspect of vampires that interests me. The world won't improve unless women take charge. I'm convinced of that.
You're obviously a clever woman with a good education and a brilliant future. But have you thought about the price you'd have to pay? The loneliness, the necessary masquerade.
Is it not true of every high position? To change this world and make it a better place, one needs time on one side.
True.
Tell me, Charlotte, how do you plan to achieve eternal life, since you've obviously given it a lot of thought?
I won't give up. You have no idea how determined I am, sir. I may contract a deadly disease. I may throw myself under a carriage, just to be saved by her sweet kiss.
That's a disturbing answer, young lady. And the worst part of it is, I know you speak the truth.
There are less dangerous ways, Doctor. Instead of throwing myself under a horse like Emily Davison, I could just throw myself into your arms.
Oh. These choices are hard. Be very careful sounds like we are threatening her. And never seems to be really harsh. Stop playing this game. I don't know. Let's go with never. Because it's then our choice we have to make, and I myself would say that I accept her mother's wishes. So I do not want to turn her.
Never. That would be betraying your mother's trust. She would never forgive us.
For sure. But look on the bright side. We would have eternity to reconcile.
Or an eternity to run away from your mother's mighty wrath. Quite a terrifying idea, don't you think?
Yes. I think it's wiser to let go of that part of the plan.
Okay, so we now
Goodbye,
know
Charlotte. Give my
Charlotte
best regards to your
Ashbury.
mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Okay. And there are so many more in this district. We have that fancy man, then there's this, I don't know, strange looking guy. Something like a murderer. He's Charlotte. That's... oh, back there's someone. Oh, hey, give me that. Let me check if there's another person, or... was that the Reed mentioned? Oh, it doesn't look like. It is. Or is it? Do we have to get in here for that? Huh. Door has been unlocked. Ah, hahaha. Okay. Good. I think I'll place my butt before the house of the Ascalon Club, and then we will end the episode. It's not a particular interesting episode in the terms of action and brutal combat and stuff like that, but we gathered so many information. Oh hey, that's the murderous guy. This is the Ascalon Club. Okay. Good. So, thank you all for watching, liking, sharing and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!